Hey everyone, and welcome to the start of another reading vlog. So it is currently Monday evening and I have been trying to film the intro to this vlog for the past 10 minutes, but Tallulah would just not leave me alone. And I think she's finally got bored and left the room, so we're good to sit down and actually talk and start this reading vlog. I thought I would start by going through my general reading plans for this week. I don't actually have any specific goals for this week, other than I would like to try and read some of the books that were on my January TBR, because I still haven't finished my January TBR and we're already, what, like a week into February, and I'm feeling stressed because there's loads of books that I also want to get to in February. But I think there are two books that I'm going to try and prioritise this week, and the first is The Last Thing He Told Me by Laura Dave. This is, I think, a mystery. I think it won the mystery thriller category in the Goodreads Choice Awards last year, and I hadn't heard many people talking about it, but then I saw Jess from Books Past Bedtime actually had it on her favourite books of the year list, and so that had me intrigued. I think this is about a guy who goes missing and then his wife finds out that actually he is not who she thought he was, or something like that. I will give a proper synopsis obviously once I've started the book. I think I'm going to try and read the beginning this evening. The second book that I would also like to try and get to this week is It Ends With Us by Colleen Hoover. This is, I think, a contemporary. I don't think it's a romance. I think it's about a woman who's in an abusive relationship, and I know this is quite a popular book on TikTok and lots of people say that it makes them cry, and I do enjoy books that make me cry and that make me have that emotional reaction, so I'm really, again, interested to see what I think of this. You want to say hi? Yeah, you want to say hi? Okay, so Tallulah is back, and I think she's been outside in the rain because she's a little bit wet and I'm worried that she's going to try and jump on my bed. So I am going to wrap up this intro and I will catch up with you once I have reading updates. So it is now Tuesday evening. It is almost 7 o'clock. I've just got home from work and I am determined to try and update this vlog every single day this week. That is my goal. Whether it actually happens, we'll see, because I do have quite a busy week, not just with work, but with other stuff going on, and I never have plans. So I don't know what's happening this week. I think everything has just fallen into the same week, but I have actually now started Everything He Never Told Me. What's it called? The Last Thing He Told Me by Laura Dave. I think that's the name of the book. I made a start in it last night, and then I also read on the way to and from work when I was on the train, and I'm really enjoying it so far. I think I'm about 25% of the way through, and it's definitely a mystery rather than a thriller. In this book we're following a woman called Hannah who has been married to her husband for I think a couple of years, and he has a 16-year-old daughter called Bailey that Hannah has tried to get along with, but they've never really seen eye to eye. You also learn at the start of the book that Hannah's husband works for this tech company, and there was something a bit dodgy going on because the owner of this tech company has just been arrested for, I think it's embezzlement, and now that Hannah's husband has gone missing, the FBI suspect, I think, that he might have known what was going on, but we're not really sure. Like, all we know is that he's disappeared and he hasn't told anyone where he's gone. The book is told from Hannah's perspective in the first person, and she's coming across as a bit naive at the moment, but I don't know. I feel like there's something else going on. I'm really intrigued to find out what is actually going on. In contrast, Bailey is more of a moody teenager, and so they do clash quite often, but I think the book is going to be about this mystery but also about their relationship. I just remembered that I was going to update this vlog every single day this week, and I remembered this after I'd taken my makeup off and washed my hair, so That's great. But I don't even really have reading updates. I read a little more of the book that I keep getting the name of wrong. Is it The Last Thing He Told Me? I feel like every time I have to say the name of this book in a video, I get it wrong. I need to practice more. But yeah, I read a little more on the train to work this morning and I'm really enjoying it. I really like the mystery and the way that things are building up. There's enough intrigue that I want to keep on reading, but it's not like it's boring. It is very character driven, and so I think that some people might find this a little bit slow, but I'm liking it and I'm really excited to carry on reading. I might read a little more tonight before I go to sleep, but I'm also very, very tired. I had a training session with work this morning. First of all, I was almost late for work because I woke up at 7:28 this morning and I usually have to leave for work at 7:30, so I panicked. I ended up driving to the train station and getting the train like from the car park. What am I saying? I got to the platform as the train was pulling away and I was so annoyed. Thankfully there was another train like 10 minutes later, so I wasn't like late or anything. It's just that I would have liked to have got in a little bit early because I did have a training session for most of the morning. It was really interesting. It was all to do with like leadership and learning about your own personality and how that affects the way that you work, and I basically learned that I am very analytical and I like to understand things and that I don't like doing stuff unless I have all of the information. It was really, really surreal actually, because we did all of these personality tests and then they gave us this printout which basically described to a T exactly what kind of worker we are. And I was reading through my booklet thinking, how has a computer managed to work this out about me? Because there were certain things in there that I think were accurate, but that I just not like really thought about. So yeah, that was my day. I am working from home tomorrow, but I'm also working a bit later because I have to run a training session for a client. So my plan is that I'm going to finish work hopefully around 6, and then I might try and finish this tomorrow. I always do this in vlogs. I always say stuff like, I'm hoping I can finish this on this day or by this time, and it never happens. So we'll see whether it does actually happen. So I am now about 50% of the way through The Last Thing He Told Me, and I think I've worked something out to do with the mystery in this book. I don't know obviously if I'm right, so I'm not going to say it just in case and it turns out to be a spoiler, but I don't know. It's really difficult to work out with this book whether I'm meant to have worked this out so early or whether it's going to be a twist later on in the book. I mean, I don't even know if I'm right. I'm talking like I'm right. I might be way off, but it's interesting because the main character is quite naive and she wants to believe that her husband hasn't done anything wrong, and as a reader I don't know yet whether he has done anything wrong. Yeah, there's been a few occasions where I can't really tell whether, as the reader, you're meant to be feeling differently to how the main character is feeling, and so it's really interesting. I like it. So I didn't actually end up vlogging yesterday. It's now Saturday. I know I said I was going to vlog every day this week, but honestly, last night I was in a really bad mood, and the reason was this. So this is the external hard drive that I use to save all my YouTube stuff to, and it decided to stop working last night and I was fuming. I was so angry. I tried over and over again to get it to work and just nothing was working, and it was just, not a good time because there's a vlog that I've been filming since the start of the year that's just gone now. So usually when I film videos, I'll film on my camera and then I'll move the files from the SD card to my hard drive, and I have lost a load of footage for a vlog that I've been filming for over a month, and so I cried a lot and then I calmed myself down and I actually ended up finishing The Last Thing He Told Me. I'm going to give this 4 stars. I think the way that I describe this is that it's more of a quiet mystery that builds up gradually comedy rather than one that has lots of really, really shocking twists and turns. I mean, there are a few twists, but it's not like really, really like wow shocking, if that makes sense. I mean, there were a few moments actually where I could feel my heart pounding because I was just so anxious over what was going to happen. I think my favourite thing about this book though was the relationship between Bailey and Hannah. So I don't know if I actually explained this, but Bailey was raised by her dad like as a single parent because her mom passed away when she was little. And so when Hannah came into their lives, Bailey was very resistant because Hannah really wanted Bailey to like her, and I think she came across as a bit desperate, and so Bailey kept pushing back and pushing back. But when Bailey's dad goes missing, Hannah is the only person left in her life that can be a parent to her, and I did think that the way that their relationship was developed over the course of the book, I did think that that was done well. It was actually quite emotional in places. I didn't quite cry, but I could feel myself almost crying, and so yeah, I think that's a good thing because I did feel that emotionally invested in the characters. I have now made a start on another book, which I actually think I said earlier in the vlog that I was going to try and get around to this next, but it Ends With Us by Colleen Hoover. So I started this last night and I'm currently, I think 76 pages in, and I'm enjoying this so far. I mean, I'm obviously not that far in, but I know that I like Colleen Hoover's writing style because I read Regretting You last year. I'm pretty sure actually I read it about a year ago and I gave it like a 3.5, 4 stars, but I've heard a lot of people say that this is one of her best books. In this we're following a woman called Lily whose father has just passed away, and she has very complicated feelings about it because her father was very abusive to her mother when she was growing up. She then meets this guy called Riley, I think is how you pronounce his name, and they have this instant attraction, but he's made it quite clear that he isn't looking for a relationship. But there's also been diary entries where Lily's talking about her first love, so this boy that she met when she was like 15, 16, who was like her first love, and so I think that somehow that's all gonna link together. That is probably a terrible synopsis. I will talk more about this book in detail obviously later, but right now my breakfast has arrived, so I'm gonna go eat and read some more and I will catch up with you later. So it is now about 4:30 on Saturday. I think it's about 4:30. I've left my phone upstairs so I can't even check, but it's still light outside, so I think it's about late afternoon, early evening, and I have been reading today. I read a little more of It Ends With Us this morning before I went out. There's something about Colleen Hoover's writing that is just addictive. When I'm reading this, I can't put it down. I think that if you're in a reading slump and you're looking for a book that'll help you get out of that reading slump, then I would possibly recommend this one, but it's always difficult to recommend a book like this because I'm not even halfway through. I think I'm on page 100 and something. I'm on page 160, so I'm not quite halfway through, but already I would say strong trigger warnings for domestic violence and domestic abuse in this, and I have a feeling that it's just going to get worse as the book goes on. So yeah, it's hard because I feel like this book has been well written, but it's heavy, and so if that's not the kind of book that you're looking for, then I wouldn't recommend it. There's also a lot of angst in this book, and I don't mind it because I like a little bit of angst in my books, and especially a book like this, but there's just a lot, and some of the dialogue is a little bit cheesy, but I mean, yeah, like I said, there's something addictive about it, so I'm interested to see how things develop as the story goes on. Good morning. So it is now Sunday and it's not even actually morning, it's just gone 12 o'clock, but I am tired. I don't know if I mentioned actually that I was going out last night. I went out for a curry with some friends and I want to do some sort of exercise today to try and wake myself up. I was going to go for a run, but it looks like it's raining, so I might just do a home workout instead or something like that. But before then, I wanted to wrap up this vlog because I did end up finishing It Ends With Us by Colleen Hoover, and I think I'm going to settle on 4 stars for this. The author's note at the end made me sob. Oh my goodness, I was like crying so much. It is really difficult actually to give this a rating because I enjoyed it and I read it quite quickly, but it was a really uncomfortable reading experience. The tone is the same as a light contemporary romance, but the actual content is really heavy. It's basically about a woman who grew up in an abusive household, and it's about the effect that has on her throughout her adult life. There were parts of this book that were so frustrating to read, but I understand why it was written this way. I can see why this book is so popular, and I would like to try some more of Colleen Hoover's books, but I don't really know what to go with next. If you've read any Colleen Hoover books, then let me know in the comments what you think I should pick up next, because I think between the 2 books that I've read from Colleen Hoover, this is my favourite, but it didn't quite feel like a 5 stars. Also, before I forget, I did just want to say thanks again to Helen for sending this to me for my birthday or Christmas last year. I did really enjoy it. I am going to end the reading vlog here though, so thanks for watching. If you've made it this far, I feel like I lost a lot of enthusiasm for this reading vlog after Friday and all of the drama with my hard drive, which I still haven't been able to fix, by the way, and I'm really good about it, but I mean, I can't help it. It's one of those things. It's just really frustrating. Thankfully, I was still able to save this vlog because I still had all the footage saved to my SD card, but yeah, I don't have anything else to say. So thanks again for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye.